Welcome and welcome back to Solo Marvel Champion. Today I'm continuing my series of my favorite hero cards. We are into Wave 2 now. This is going to be Rise of Red Skull through Scarlet Witch. And this video will be a lot shorter than my last one because we only have 6 heroes to look at. Let's start with Hawkeye. Hawkeye was a hero that I didn't have much luck with when I first played him. I think the big problem there was when I was still or just starting out in the game, I would just grab a hero and then grab the cards that I liked to play with and put them in the deck. And I wasn't really looking for synergies like I should. But when I played my Rise of Red Skull campaign with Hawkeye here on the channel, I mean, Hawkeye just tore it up. I had a blast with Hawkeye. So I did come to love him. My favorite card, I did talk about this a little bit when I was talking about, or in my last video, when I was talking about stunning and confusing. Sonic Arrow to me is my favorite card. Confuse the enemy, deal 3 to it. That allows you to flip down. And flipping down is important because Hawkeye is squishy. He only has 9 hit points. Endurance will get you up to 12, but having that starting 9 hit points, I like to be able to flip down when I need to. And concussive, or not concussive, Sonic Arrow definitely helps me do that. So for me, for Hawkeye, Sonic Arrow is my favorite card. Next, let's move on to Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman made my top 5 heroes list. I have played her a ton, just an absolute ton of times. My favorite card for her is Pheromones. Stun and confuse an enemy. That is super huge. That buys you 2 turns. Maybe you stun and confuse, you don't get the attack, then you flip down, or you go ahead and flip down, you don't get the scheme, flip up and have a free turn when you flipped back up. This card not only is good because it stuns and confuses, it also counts as a leadership card, so that is going to proc her ability. So playing that gives you stun and confuse, and she's going to get +1 to all of her stats. That is a lot of fun. So for me, again, talking about stunning and confusing, Pheromones is my favorite card for Spider-Woman. Next, we're going to get into Ant-Man. Ant-Man is one I didn't play until right after, or actually right before Next Evolution came out, because I was trying to play all the heroes I hadn't played yet. And I had way more fun with him than I expected to. He definitely wants to flip back and forth between tiny and giant as much as possible. Resize is good. Change to your other hero form, draw a card. That's sweet. His Pym Particles is nice. The card I think is the best and the most fun for me is Ant-Man's Helmet. Once you get this in, you're doing something besides what you get when you change forms. So after you change to hero form, heal 2. After you change to tiny form, draw 1. And that is on top of the things that happen when you do that anyway. After you change to this form, remove a threat on tiny. So that's remove a threat and draw a card. And on giant, after you change to this form, deal 1 damage to an enemy. That's now deal 1 damage and heal 2 damage from yourself. That makes him a lot of fun, and this is an identity-specific upgrade. So superpower training, if you can get that in on your turn 1, then you just pop up to Ant-Man and remove a threat, and then for 2, you're going to clear that off and get his helmet in play on turn 1. Of course, you need a little bit of luck to get that side scheme, but that is really fun to do that. You know, that helmet is so important, for me anyway, just to get a little bit of extra out of what you already want to be doing, which is changing form. So Ant-Man's helmet, my favorite Ant-Man card. Next we have Wasp. Wasp is different. She doesn't want to be changing back and forth between forms. You kind of want to build for one form or the other. She does have a lot of fun cards as well. She has that same Pym Particles, which I thought was really cool. Her helmet is decent too. If you're in Giant, +1 thwart. If you're in Tiny, +1 attack. That one I don't think is as essential to me as this card. Her alter ego, number one, it has Genius, so you can play Ingenuity, which is awesome. But this is the reason I love her alter ego. This GIRL action, shuffle up to 2 cards with printed mental resource from your discard pile into your deck. That is really, really cool. You can flip down often, get your mental cards back. Professor X has a mental resource, so play him, confuse the villain, remove 3 threat, flip down. He's going to go away, and then next turn, you can use that action to shuffle him back into your deck. I absolutely love that. Maybe you don't flip down right away. You let him take that chump block, and then you shuffle him back in when you go back down to Alter Ego. I just absolutely love this ability. I haven't played Wasp as much as I've played Ant-Man, but this ability is definitely something that you can build around, and I absolutely love it. That's my favorite card in Wasp. Next we have Quicksilver. 1/1/1, don't let that deter you. There are a lot of things to get that thwart attack and defense up. Super speed response after you use one of his basic powers, ready him. That's really awesome. The card looks like it would be always be running. That's my favorite. That is a good card, but the card I think is the absolute best in Quicksilver is Friction Resistance. Yes, it costs 3, but I don't care. Once you get that in, this is going to generate a lot of resources for you, because after you ready Quicksilver, ready this. So you use this to play Always Be Running. That readies Quicksilver, which lets you ready Friction Resistance. I've had a lot of fun with Quicksilver. I probably need to play him again. I haven't played him since probably Mad Titan Shadow era, so there are a lot of fun cards that he can play around with now, so I definitely need to go back and look at him again. But Friction Resistance, my number 1 card for Quicksilver. We're going to finish this list off with Scarlet Witch. She is a Mystic, which I like. I talked in my last video about starting a new series that's going to center around the Mystic trait. But I really love Scarlet Witch. She's another one that I didn't play until right before Next Evolution, and then I took her through Next Evolution, just like I did with Ant-Man. She has a lot of fun cards. Quicksilver is interesting. Cost 4, but you're going to get 2 basically attacks with him right away. So, or 2 thwart, or a combination of those. But I usually attack with him. Attack, attack. On the next turn, attack again. Maybe attack again to finish him off. But if you have some healing, you know, that's really nice. If you put some attachments on him, that would be nice. This might be a good candidate for Sidekick, just because you can keep him healthy. He gets the extra hit points. He's getting an extra ready each turn. And then if you can put something else on him to increase his attack or thwart, that would be a lot of fun too. That's not my favorite card in Scarlet Witch though. Hexbolt is a lot of fun. Molecular Decay is a lot of fun. Warp Reality is a lot of fun. I love being able to cancel and encounter card, but my favorite is Chaos Magic, especially when we're talking about how expensive Quicksilver is. Quicksilver costs 4, Well, Chaos Magic, I can now play Quicksilver for nothing, put him into play, and then just discard the top 4 cards of the encounter deck. I think that's awesome. Anytime you can reduce costs a lot, I think that's a good time. So Chaos Magic, that is my number 1 card for Scarlet Witch. So those are my favorites from Wave 2. We have Sonic Arrow, Pheromones, Ant-Man's Helmet, GIRL, which is Wasp's alter ego ability, Friction Resistance, and Chaos Magic. Let me know in the comments what your favorite abilities are, or your favorite cards are, rather, from these heroes. And I hope you have a marvelous day.